Have you ever stopped to really think about the air that surrounds us every moment of every day? It's something we rarely notice, yet it's always there, filling every room, every hallway, every corner of our homes and lives. We can't see it, we can't hold it, but it's as real as the ground beneath our feet. Air is invisible, but it's absolutely essential for life. Every breath we take is a silent reminder of how much we depend on it. Whether we're laughing with family, reading a book, or simply sitting quietly, the air is always there, sustaining us. We move through air every single day, often without a second thought. We feel it as a gentle breeze on our skin, or as a gust of wind that makes the curtains dance. With every inhale and exhale, we're part of a cycle that connects us to every living thing on Earth. But air isn't just empty space. It's a complex mixture of gases, like a giant invisible soup swirling all around us. Sometimes when sunlight streams through a window, we catch a glimpse of tiny dust particles floating, reminding us that air is full of things we can't see. The main ingredient in this invisible soup is nitrogen, making up most of what we breathe. But the real superhero for life is oxygen. It's the gas that our bodies crave, the one that keeps our hearts beating and our minds sharp. Oxygen is the fuel that keeps us alive, even though there's less of it than nitrogen in the air. Every cell in our bodies needs oxygen to turn food into energy. Without it, we simply couldn't survive. Now, imagine for a moment if all the oxygen in a room suddenly vanished. What would happen to the lights, the plants, the pets? Would anything work the same way? Would the world as we know it come to a standstill? And what about us? What about the people and animals we love? How long could we last without this invisible lifeline? Through a simple experiment, we can actually see just how vital oxygen is. Watch what happens to a candle when it's trapped in a jar. Without fresh air, the flame quickly dies. It's a powerful reminder that oxygen is the spark of life. By exploring a world without oxygen, we can start to appreciate every single breath we take. Each inhale is a gift, each exhale a part of the cycle that keeps us and everything around us alive. So get ready. Let's take a journey into a world without oxygen and discover just how precious the invisible air we breathe truly is. So, what is oxygen? It's something we use every single moment of our lives, yet we rarely stop to think about it. Oxygen is the invisible force that keeps us alive, quietly working behind the scenes. Every breath you take, every move you make, oxygen is right there with you, making life possible. But what exactly is it and why is it so important? It's an element, symbol O, number 8 on the periodic table. This means it's one of the basic building blocks of everything around us. Oxygen is a colorless, odorless gas, but don't let that fool you, it's incredibly powerful. It's the third most abundant element in the universe, and without it, life as we know it simply wouldn't exist. Oxygen is everywhere, air, water, and even the ground. It makes up about 21% of the air we breathe, and it's dissolved in the water that fish and other aquatic creatures rely on. Even the soil beneath our feet contains oxygen, helping plants grow and thrive. It's woven into the fabric of our planet, touching every part of our environment. The oxygen we breathe is O2, two atoms joined together. This special pairing is what our bodies need to survive. When you take a breath, you're actually inhaling millions of these tiny O2 molecules, each one ready to play its part in keeping you healthy and strong. When we inhale, oxygen travels from our lungs into our blood, fueling every cell. It's like a delivery service, bringing vital energy to every corner of our bodies. Without this constant supply, our organs and muscles would quickly stop working. Oxygen is the spark that keeps our engines running. Our cells use oxygen to turn food into energy, a process called cellular respiration. This is how we get the power to run, jump, think, and even sleep. Every bite of food you eat is transformed, with oxygen's help, into the energy you need to live your life. It's a process happening inside you right now, every second of the day. Without oxygen, our bodies can't function. Just a few minutes without it, and we start to feel dizzy, weak, and confused. That's why doctors rush to give oxygen in emergencies. It's truly a lifesaver. Our brains, hearts, and every organ depend on a steady flow of oxygen to keep us alive and well. Oxygen also helps things burn. Think of a campfire or a candle. When you light a match, it's oxygen that feeds the flame, making it glow bright and warm. This same process powers engines, heats our homes, and even helps rockets blast off into space. Oxygen is a key player in so many of the things we use every day. It causes rust, changing metals over time. When oxygen meets iron, it creates rust, a slow but steady transformation. This process, called oxidation, is a reminder of how powerful oxygen can be, shaping and reshaping our world in ways we often overlook. Plants and tiny ocean organisms make oxygen through photosynthesis, creating a perfect balance. They use sunlight to turn carbon dioxide and water into oxygen, filling our air with the fresh, clean gas we need. Forests, fields, and oceans are like giant oxygen factories working day and night to keep our planet healthy. We give plants carbon dioxide, they give us oxygen. It's a beautiful exchange, a partnership that keeps both people and plants alive. Every time you take a breath or water a plant, you're taking part in this amazing cycle. It's one of nature's most amazing partnerships. Oxygen is truly our planet's superhero. Quiet, invisible, and absolutely essential. Next time you take a deep breath, remember the incredible journey of oxygen and how it connects every living thing on Earth. Imagine you find yourself in a perfectly ordinary room, but with one crucial difference. There's absolutely no oxygen in the air. What would happen to your body in those first few moments? It's a scenario that's both terrifying and fascinating, and it reveals just how dependent we are on this invisible gas for every second of our lives. At first you might not notice anything unusual. You could take a breath and feel nothing out of the ordinary. No choking, no burning in your lungs. But even if you feel fine, your body is already in crisis mode. The change is silent, but it's immediate and profound. With no oxygen to absorb, your blood suddenly has nothing to deliver to your cells. Red blood cells, which normally act as tiny delivery trucks carrying oxygen to every corner of your body, are now running empty. Your organs, muscles, and especially your brain, are left gasping for the fuel they need to function. This dangerous lack of oxygen is known as hypoxia when it's partial, or anoxia when it's complete. Both are medical emergencies, but in a room with zero oxygen, you're facing total anoxia, a situation the human body simply isn't built to survive. The brain, which is the most oxygen-hungry organ in your body, is the first to feel the effects. It uses about 20% of the oxygen you breathe, even though it's only a small fraction of your body's weight. Without oxygen, brain cells begin to malfunction almost instantly. Within just a few seconds, you'd start to feel lightheaded and dizzy. Confusion would set in, and your vision might blur or darken at the edges. You might feel as if you're in a dream, unable to focus or think clearly. Some people describe a ringing in their ears or a sense of floating. Oddly enough, you wouldn't feel like you're suffocating. There's no urge to gasp or struggle for air because your body can't sense the absence of oxygen the way it senses the buildup of carbon dioxide. Instead, you'd simply lose consciousness, usually in less than a minute. It's quick, silent, and almost peaceful, but incredibly dangerous. That's why pilots and astronauts spend hours training for low oxygen emergencies. They learn to recognize the subtle signs before it's too late, and they practice using emergency oxygen masks. But in a sealed room with no oxygen at all, there's no warning and no time to react. After just a few minutes without oxygen, the damage becomes permanent. Brain cells begin to die, leading to irreversible brain injury. Even if you were rescued and given oxygen, the harm might already be done. Other organs, like your heart, liver, and kidneys, also start to fail rapidly. Without oxygen, the body's systems shut down one by one. The heart stops beating, the lungs stop moving, and the body can no longer sustain life. Survival becomes impossible after just a few minutes, no matter how healthy you were before. It's a stark reminder. While we can survive for weeks without food and days without water, we can only last a few precious minutes without oxygen. It's the most urgent need our bodies have, and we rarely even think about it. So the next time you take a breath, remember, oxygen is the invisible lifeline that keeps us alive, every moment of every day. Animals need oxygen just like we do. Pets, dogs, cats, hamsters, breathe, absorb oxygen, and use it for energy. Without oxygen, they'd become disoriented and lose consciousness quickly. Smaller animals like birds or hamsters would be affected even faster. Fish need oxygen too, but they get it from water. In an oxygen-free room, the water's oxygen would run out, and the fish would struggle to survive. Eventually all animals, land, air, or water, would suffer from lack of oxygen. Oxygen connects all animal life on Earth. From whales to insects, it's a shared resource. Survival depends on it. What about non-living things? The biggest change is with fire. Fire needs heat, fuel, and oxygen, the fire triangle. Remove oxygen and any flame goes out instantly. A candle, fireplace, or stove would be snuffed out in a flash. This is how some fire extinguishers work, by removing oxygen. In our room, fire is impossible. You couldn't light a match or use a lighter. Even things that are usually fire risks become safe. Sparks from a frayed cord wouldn't ignite anything. The room becomes a place where burning can't happen. Oxygen's role goes beyond life. It's key to chemistry and energy. Without oxygen, other changes happen more slowly. Rusting stops. Iron and steel stay shiny. Scientists use oxygen-free environments to protect sensitive materials. Food spoils more slowly, since many microbes need oxygen to grow. Some foods are packaged without oxygen to stay fresh longer. An apple would brown much more slowly in our room. Most objects, wood, plastic, glass, wouldn't change much. The room would look the same, but chemical changes are happening silently. Decay and reactions we take for granted would be paused. The room is strangely preserved. How fast do these changes happen? For living things, it's almost instant. Humans lose consciousness in under a minute. Animals, even faster. Life's need for oxygen is measured in seconds. Flames go out the moment oxygen is gone. Chemistry in action. Other changes, like stopping rust, are instant in a different way. They prevent slow decay from ever starting. An iron nail won't rust for years in this room. The rules of chemistry change in a flash. For life and fire, the change is lightning fast. For slow decay, it's a permanent halt. Oxygen controls the speed of change. What else changes in a room with no oxygen? The air is slightly lighter and sound travels a bit differently. Many smells, like fresh bread or coffee, come from reactions with oxygen. Without it, food smells duller, and some aromas never form. Plants can't save us. They need oxygen for energy too. In darkness, plants use oxygen just like animals. In our room, even a plant would eventually die. Fire can't burn, metal can't rust, and food spoils differently. The air, sounds, and smells all change. Oxygen shapes our world in ways we rarely notice. Our journey shows how vital oxygen is. Without it, life stops instantly. Our bodies, animals, everything. Oxygen powers fire, causes rust, and changes food. Remove it, and the world becomes preserved but lifeless. Oxygen drives the chemistry that makes our world dynamic. It's easy to forget about the air, but it's our most precious resource. Plants, algae, and the planet's ecosystem provide it for free. Next time you breathe, remember the journey of those oxygen molecules. Oxygen connects all life in a delicate balance. Protecting our planet means protecting the air we need to live.